Understated Strengths of the Junior Accessory Dwelling Units in California. This is Home Guru Lab, and I'm David Hartman. Many people have been asking me a lot of different questions about accessory dwelling units. And what's been coming up every now and then is, what is a junior accessory dwelling unit? Or JADU for short. Junior accessory dwelling units is solely a California statewide definition of what's permissible, as opposed to a standard accessory dwelling unit, which is different from state to state, and many different states have their own requirements. California has taken their regular accessory dwelling unit definition a little bit further and said, hey, what if? And this is the what if on the small side. So here are the caveats. First, let's talk about the caveats in relation to who can build a junior accessory dwelling unit. A junior accessory dwelling unit has to be attached to a primary single-family residence. So no multifamily residences, duplex, triplex, fourplex, or 5 units or above. Sorry, all those investment property owners. As it must be attached to a single-family residence, that there's also the stipulation that the owner must reside on the property, assumably in the primary house, but there is the leeway where the owner can move into the junior accessory dwelling unit and rent out the house. Further, the state of California does specify that a junior accessory dwelling unit has to be within the structure of the single family house. To quote, within the walls of the proposed or existing single family residence. That's taken directly from the state code. Now, so far we've been primarily talking about the state code, but every jurisdiction and municipality can have their own variations to this code. Yes, there are certain components that they cannot restrict, and we'll get into that in a minute, but more importantly, there are leeways in this aspect. Sticking with the state code, though, it does not specify what it means by within the walls. So let me explain. While some jurisdictions would say you are allowed to convert an attached structure of the single family residence, like a garage or a shed or maybe a covered patio, I don't know, that might be stretching it. Other jurisdictions clearly say that you have to convert something that's an already existing living space. Therefore, you would be subtracting from the living space by converting a den or already existing bedroom to this junior accessory dwelling unit. Next, the state does specify certain restrictions on what a city can and can't do. For junior accessory dwelling units, a city cannot restrict you from making something smaller than 500 feet or imposing certain restrictions preventing an owner from having a junior accessory dwelling unit. That the state is very clear. What the state does tell you are these guidelines. The junior accessory dwelling unit can be no more than 500 feet in living space. And if you look at the overall accessory dwelling unit laws, the smallest it could be is 150 square feet. The state also says that the junior accessory dwelling unit has to have its own entrance to the unit. It has to have a kitchenette. Some municipalities will allow you to have a bigger kitchen, but the kitchenette, as specified, must have a place to wash food, prepare food, cook food, and also store food. It does not specify whether storing is to be in a refrigerator or not. That is something that could be noted. Further, a junior accessory dwelling unit does not need to have a bathroom. It can have its own bathroom, but the state code says the junior accessory dwelling unit can share the bathroom with the primary single family residence. Last to note, the state is very clear that a junior accessory dwelling unit can be rented out. Awesome, right? It does not talk about short-term rentals, but many cities across California have restricted junior accessory dwelling units from being used for short-term rental. So if that was your plan, unfortunately, I would check your local municipalities. And actually, like everything else, because the state has specific guidelines, but the city can add and supplement onto those guidelines, check your local jurisdiction to find out what their rules are in relation to a junior accessory dwelling unit. If you need any help or guidance on that, feel free to click the link below and send me an email. If you like what I had to share with you today, click the like button. Maybe drop a comment, ask me a question, or maybe even subscribe to my videos, because that way you'll never miss out on some of the specific content that's always up to date that I have prepared for you. This is Home Guru Lab, and I'm David Hartman.